As you heard from the first speaker, Brigadier General Gabriel Gadwech Poch, who have just came from Juba, serving the people of Southern Sudan from Spla. My first time will go to the leadership of Splm, the representative of the Splm in Kenya, and all the guests invited. As you heard before, I was in Spla and I served in so many places before the movement. I was in the field. I worked in intelligence. After the CFA, I was also posted at the National Security in Juba and in Khartoum, and served there for 6 years. Then after independence, then I came to Juba. I was also posted again to the army. I went and served in Division 5 as a logistic officer. Then again, I was posted again in administrations for 5th Division. Now I'm declaring myself defecting from Spla 5th 11th Infantry Division as a chief administration, then decided to join the rebellions. I, Brigadier Gabriel Gadwech Poch, take this opportunity to make this important declaration. As from today, I'm not any longer interested to be the part or fashion of this killing regime, Splm ruling party. Furthermore, let me apologize to my commander of 5th Division, General David Manyok Baraj. Comrade, I really surprise you with this news that I am leaving the division, but I will really miss your command. You are a man of wisdom, courage, hard worker, good command, and man of integrity in the Southern Sudan. May God bless your work. Comrade, allow me to express my anger toward this dirty regime. As our policy is concerned in 5th Division, that if anyone wishes to leave the division, he or she must be allowed to go freely. The second apology goes to my entire family, brothers, sisters, relatives, that I'm here by informing you that I have already decided to leave and put down my tools from Spla as from today onward. I will not be any longer with you as the regime in Southern Sudan. When the war broke out in Juba, I based in Wau. When I based in Wau, I have also a responsibility to carry out there in Wau. As the ship administration at 5th Divisions, I have to control the situation there. We have so many people there, so many were in Bargazal in general. When the war took off from Juba, we tried to calm it down there, because once it break out in Bargazal, then the whole country will be in chaos. Then on my side, as somebody intellectual, as senior officers, the skirmish which took place in Juba did not come directly to us to affect us. We have to control our people, that let us make sure that we are in a calm situation. Because if you are not affected, you cannot provoke the situation. You cannot provoke the situation. Because fighting is a killing of innocent life. As the soldiers, you must ask when you are in a good term of approach whether you are going to win the war or not. That what happened in Juba, it was not planned. It was not planned. It is something came abruptly. If we would have been contained at Republican Guard, at Tiger, I think you people, you would have not even come out. It is because it has spreaded killing of innocent people. Yes, we did not do anything when we heard that innocent people were killed. Most of us who were in Wow, most of our relatives, they lost their life in Wow, in Juba. But we thought, wherever you are, and the war break out, you have to see the atmosphere of that situation you are in, whether it can take you to fight or you cannot take you to fight. We managed to control our peoples in a safe way that they should not involve themselves in war. Because of the reason we know that in the field. Because when we are in Greater Barghazal, most of Nuer who were there, they are soldiers. We were over 30,000. They went there in 2007. They were with their family. They were with their children. As a Nuer, I know very well, when you heard the war, you cannot even think about your kids. You cannot even take arm and go and fight. We used to tell them no. If we are over 30,000 here, let us say that 10,000 has got married. They have 10,000 wives. Let 10,000 have 10,000 kids. How many of us? Then we are so many. For we try to convince them to calm them down, the situation, not to involve into the fight. Because actually, there were no anything there who were ready also to fight us. Nobody. The whole Barghazal was calm. There was no fight. Because the intention was in Juba. It did not spread out like it was in the Great Upper Nile. That thing, nobody took that initiative to fight. Two, for my permission, yes, it is my feeling. Each of you who went out from Juba, none of you, maybe also some of the relatives, they were not killed. But they went out for Sak Nuer has been killed, they went out. They went out because Nuer were killed. It is like me, when I remain there, as I told you before, I have two issues burning me, because if the former staff officer and the former intelligence officer can be put on top of us, has to be senior. Some of it, most of the national intelligence officers, when I were in Khartoum, they were my junior. But when they came to that Spla now, they were put on top of me. What do you feel? You can feel sad. I cannot just decide now to jump out and say now I left the system because the Nuer were killed. I must have my own personal reasons why I'm leaving the system. And each everybody has got his own feeling. This is my own feeling. The only thing which contained the army worldwide is the seniority. You were in Juba. And I know most of you who are sitting here, they were not happy with the program of Malagayun. You can't say that Malagayun is bad in Juba. They will hang you. You better run away and come and speak outside. These are facts. Can I stood up in Juba and say Malagayun is an idiot? Why is doing this on Nuer? I will be also a fully general. You see? Those things are problematic. We have not done anything in Juba. The only thing that we are doing in Juba is mobilizations. It's a mobilization that the regime must go, whether through war or through politics. And by the way, you should be the very people who can also play this role. You cannot run from Juba. You come and sit here or in the field just fighting. You don't have any access about the information inside what's happening. When somebody calls you, you just drop the phone, like you are going to be killed through the phone. You must have also the inner people who can also fight with you inside. Not everybody who will come in the field and fight for you. You can even see now in Juba, those who are eating now the yoke of the movement, they were not with us in the bush. They are milking it now like a cow. And those who were in the bush, you see them, the G10s, are just tamaking now in the road here. And they were the very people who fought this war for this country to be achieved. Those who were sitting in Khartoum, relaxing, ministers, now they want to have taken over. Is this the government we want? No. Should we punish the G10 because they say this is wrong and this is bad? No. These are comrades. The party must crack and must be reformed by the same own people. Then each and everybody was helpless to fight the war. Yes, the message for coup, that it is a failed coup, it has reached the country, for your information. If it has not been dishonored, the G10, some of them who were arrested, they would have not come out. It is because everybody knew that that message of a coup, of a military coup in Juba was false. It is a smoke screen that has come out to fight the people, to give the reason to fight the people. But the very person who did this is Thomas Worth, who did this. And I know Nuer, they forgot very quickly. Nuer, they forgot very quickly. If there is peace today, you will just run in. You will say the whole thing is finished. You will be lynched one by one. And the same Thomas who betray you, some of you will go to him that looking for a job from him. He's the one who caused this damage. He's the one who caused this damage. There is no coup. It was false. Even when I were in WOW, we also knew that there is nothing. But it's a cover-up. It's a political cover-up. To cover up the innocent people who were killed, there is no way to put it. Then there has to be said that this is a coup. It's not a coup. There is no coup. If there would have been a coup, we would have not been in WOW. We would have been fought that coup. Because in a coup, you must mobilize some general to stand with you. Dr. Ray cannot go to the bush alone if it was been a coup. He has so many supporters in the Nuer inside that are still there. He has so many supporters in the Equatorian who are opposite that are still in the army. He has so many supporters in the Dinka opposite that are still in the army. It is not. Second point that I would like to tell you is about people who are going inside. People who are leaving you, they are going in. Couple of people have gone to Juba. They are receiving the airports, given B8 cars, taken to the hotels. They are told, this is your room, drink and eat. After 3 months, they are kicked out. I want to remind you, if there are some people who want to go in, here in Nairobi, in Kampala, in Khartoum, in Juba, and sorry, in Addis Ababa, you don't waste your time on going. You will come back next tomorrow.
Correct. If you are lucky. If you are lucky to come out.
The brothers of Comrade Paganamum, they went in. Some of them now they are in Khartoum. It is too hot for them to stay there.
I am sure if he had decided in December 2013 to join the fight immediately, like some of you are asking, the killing that happened in Juba would have spread to those innocent Nuer in Barkazal. As a senior Nuer general, he worked with his colleagues within Division 5 to make sure that the killing only stops in Juba and that the situation is contained in Barkazal. So we have to commend him for the work they have done in the first 3, 4, 5 months to make sure that those innocent Nuer who were in Barkazal were not harmed. And in fact, that some of the people that were displaced from Upper Nile, and especially from Bantu, were accommodated in Barkazal areas, including Warab, where I come from. I come from Teach County of Warab. Up to today, we have tens and tens of thousands of Nuer who are placed there. It was because of generals like him, okay, that made it very clear that what is happening in Juba is not between tribes, but it is between the leaders within the Spla that are trying to confuse the people to stay in power. So I have to commend him for that job. The issue that the current government, and I'm a Dinka, it doesn't get more Dinka than me, okay? From my mother's side up to grandfather, from my father's side up to grandfather, it's purely Dinka. And we feel that the current regime does not represent us. Many people outside will think that this is a Dinka regime. But if you go to my state of Warab, where the president come from, you will not find a single kilometer of tarmac road. There is tarmac road in Bantu, where Riek Machar comes from. But in Kwajok, where the president comes from, there is no single kilometer, even 1 meter of tarmac roads. If I tell you our assembly today in Warab still sits in a prefab, we are still in containers. The MPs sit in containers. This is a fact. You can go yourself. Or if you have a friend in Warab, you call him and say, please go to the assembly and call me from the assembly and tell me what you see. The whole ministries are still in containers. The referral hospital, like the one you have in Bantu, the one you have in Malakal, the one you have in Wau, there is no single referral hospital in Warab state. The one that was supposed to be built has now taken 6 years and it is still in foundation level. So the president himself, if he goes to his own home state and he gets sick, he will have to be transported to another state for a referral hospital. But him, he has helicopters. He can call Paul Malong and Paul Malong can send helicopters. What about us, the innocent 1 million citizens of Warab, who don't have helicopters to fly them out of Warab? Where do we go to? You have to, if I go to my state today, Warab, flying from Juba, I have to land in another state first. We don't have an airport. A small airstrip where these small planes, Fokker 50 can sit, is not there. I have to land in Wau, then take a vehicle to Kwajok, or go and land in a will, then take a vehicle to Kwajok. Now, how is this thing supposed to be mine as somebody from Warab when I am suffering more than anybody else? All I know is that these people have totally failed, and when they realize that they have failed, and the whole nation is going to rise up against them, they started killing the Nuer, so that the Nuer can also kill the Dinkas in Upper Nile, so that every Dinka pulls back and say, oh, Dr. Riek Machar is coming here to kill the Dinkas. So we better stick with this useless government of ours because it belongs to our tribe. And now that we are here, as the top youth leader in the country, and from Warab, the home state of the president, joining the movement led by Dr. Riek Machar from another tribe, this bubble is now busting. The people of South Sudan are beginning to realize, okay, that this is a failed government that wants to utilize the ethnic tendencies and the traditional differences these two brothers, the Dinka and Nuer, have to try and stay in power. When I came here, I have received over 600 messages. All of them are saying, we agree with you, Mr. Agel, that the government has totally failed. The President Kiir has no vision to take the country forward, but please stay with us because we are Dinkas. All 600 messages. No one says, why are you joining the Dr. Riek Machar, and Dr. Riek Machar has nothing to offer, and Salva has this and this and this to offer. Nothing. Yes, Dr. Riek Machar is more educated. Yes, Dr. Riek Machar has ideas and visions, the issues of federalism, the issues of reforms, democracy. Okay, yes. But he's a Nuer. Just come and sit with us because you are a Dinka. Please don't destroy your future. No, it is when we accept to divide these countries on tribes that we are destroying our future. And yes, the movement may have begun as people who are upset for what happened in Juba in December. But currently, this movement is a national movement with a national agenda that wants to rescue this country. And it is not a surprise, it is not beginning that the Nuer begin a movement. This SPLM that was led by Dr. John Garang, the first soldiers in 1983 were all of them Nuer. Why didn't John Garang refuse to go and say, Mio Warba, Mio Kamsa and all these, they're all Nuer, I am not going there? No. What you go there is the agenda, it's not the number. The number may start as Nuer, but sooner or later, the other people will join. And in few years, if they don't want to sign the peace, okay, or if they don't want to, in few years, we are now exporting the war to other places. And before the end of the year, they will know, they will feel the pain of war in the country. So I want to commend my comrade, because in every family, if there is problems, people don't always fight at the same time. There are those who are very quick to fight, and there are those who want to wait first and wait and hope things will go better. Eventually they come out. The same thing with the issue of divorce. There is somebody, if your wife does something wrong, you jump out. But there are others who keep it for 10 years until bigger too much, you go. So he's a man that tried his best to hope that maybe things will change. Maybe Salva will change his mind. Maybe he will not discriminate on tribes. Maybe he will present himself as a national leader instead of putting himself as a Dinka. But he was disappointed after 15 months that this thing is not going to change. So regardless of what time somebody comes, okay, we must be welcoming and open our arms to receive our comrades, because the bigger we are and the stronger we are, the sooner we will end the suffering of the people of South Sudan.
That our members should take away and go and educate other members. There is an issue which is being taken out of context, and it is being used against us as propaganda. And all members should be aware of this, and it is the issue of the two armies in the peace process. The position of the movement is that there has been no army in South Sudan, and this has been admitted by the former Chief of Staff and by the Minister of Defense in the AU report. So since there's no army, the movement is saying that how are we going to be integrated into a no army? There's no army to be integrated into. You know? South Sudan consists of a loose alliance of militias who have allegiance to politicians in Juba. So what we are saying is that all across South Sudan there are militias. So all these militias, you stay in your places and let us constitute an army for the first time in South Sudan, because there has been no army. You know? So members should not be using the word two armies, because we are not for two armies. We are for separation of forces. You know, so separation of forces and two armies, there babul banyo. So you know, so let us not use the word two armies, because it is used as propaganda, you know, by our detractors, as if we are saying that we want two armies in South Sudan. That's not what we are saying. What we are saying is that there has never been an army, and now we want to constitute an army for the first time. We cannot be integrated into a tribal army of Salva Kiir. We have to all be separate, and then we get a new army out of the different groups, which are the different armed groups.
Following your message very keenly, and this is the same message that we have been speaking when we were in Juba. We made it very clear that that country, South Sudan, was headed towards abyss, and something must be done to salvage the situation. Had the president and his advisors listened to the calls from his colleagues, Dr. Yak, and members of the former detainees, and the church, as well as the civil society, that country would have not shedded blood that we have seen and we continue to see today. You are joining us is very valuable. General Garwich will enhance our military capability, being a senior general, an experienced general. And we have not even yet closed the oil. We left it because there are some citizens who still need medicine and to send children to school. But we can close it because the pipelines, our forces are sitting on the pipelines. But they are in Paloch and some of those pockets. Anytime we can even disconnect the pipes. We don't need to capture Paloch. We can disconnect the pipe, then everything collapses. So we have very huge task. As you have said, yes, we are going for peace talks. My colleague will elaborate more on that. But if this round fails, because they are already speaking negatively in Juba, and they are all out to frustrate the process again, we welcome the IGAD Plus Forum. We don't want it to be like the previous sessions. We want it to be a peace forum, where Juba will be invited and we will also be invited. We go and attend and interact. And we need the mediation to be robust, not to be left to Juba and their friends in IGAD, so that they can manipulate and make it to collapse again. Because South Sudan will descend into terrible collapse.
Close family friends, Gabriel Garwich-Poish. Gabriel is my colleague. We went to school together. We also taught as teachers together. So we have done a lot of things together in the community. I know his coming will add to the weight of the movement. He's a very experienced soldier. He's a very experienced administrator. He's also a political activist, going back to Rumbek Secondary School.
He was actually the one who organized the student uprising in Rumbek in 1983. And he has been in the movement all along. So his coming is very important. I know his contribution will be huge. Welcome, Gabriel, to the People Movement. I also welcome Comrade Aguer Ring Machar. Comrade, you have made my day with your statement, the written one and the commentaries. I have always been saying in my writing and also in public statement that Salva Kiir has failed as a statement, has failed as a politician and also as a soldier, because he failed even the security of the country, where he should be doing the best because he's a security officer. Our country is now in turmoil, and the insecurity is even worse in the Dinka community areas or Bahr el Ghazal. There is only one thing that Salva Kiir has succeeded doing in the country, and that is dividing the people of South Sudan along ethnic line. He has succeeded doing that. That must be reversed for us to be successful. And the heroes of that struggle are people like him. It is not easy in South Sudan, by the way, or in Africa, to cross an ethnic line because of your political opinions. We did it once during the split when we heard the Nuer community to join the SPLA. It was difficult. Even Dr. Riek Machar found it very difficult to go back to the SPLM. We did it and we heard all kinds of names. My colleague in the United States used to call me Dinka Nuer because I said we will achieve independence of South Sudan only when we go back to the fold with the SPLM. This is what he's doing, and congratulations, comrades. You are welcome to the People Movement. We need to do more of this. You know, South Sudan is not the geography of the country. South Sudan is us, the nation. Otherwise, if you are killing the people, you are killing the nation. And if the nation is not united, we will not survive as a sovereign country. And you can see that actually our sovereignty is crumbling. And that is because Salva Kiir has divided us. You know, read the books in history. Dictators cannot succeed with united people behind them. They have to divide people so that they can cling on to power. And that is what Salva Kiir is doing. There is nothing wrong with Dinka community, but there is something wrong with Salva Kiir. And by the way, as Gabriel also put it, there are also Nuer in the same cocoon with him, who are doing even worse. So let us unite. This is a message I can say. And it is good that we are with the top leader from the community of the president. So let us welcome him with open arms. About the peace process. A lot of things are being said about peace process, but I can summarize it only in 2 words. This peace process in Addis Ababa is about what we call reforms and accountability. Reforms and accountability. All the statement we have heard today from the previous speakers, even my friend Andy, who is an American with us here, can tell us that with the language, you know, the tribal language that we are using, the Dinka Nuers, we are in a failed state. So we are saying that a state does not have institutions. That is why the army is a tribal army. And we have made the case in Addis Ababa that there must be total reform in all of the institutions of the government. Security sector reform, civil service reform, and the overhauling of the system. We have made the case for each of them. For example, the National Army. Do we have a National Army like Comrade Mabur was saying? We did not have a National Army. Even the so-called presidential guards that we had before December 13, was a tribal makeup. A Republican Guard is supposed to come from all our 10 states, with all our ethnic group faces in it. If we want to make it 1,000, then we should have 100 from all the states. Each state should contribute 100. And we will have the nucleus of our national army from all over the country. And the country is not a Nuer Dinka country. You know, there are other ethnic groups like we have here. His face need to be also represented in that army. That is the case we have made for a new army in Addis. And the reason why we want a security reform is because we don't need this war to defeat itself. We need a security sector that will protect the whole country. Not a security sector with national army and the private arm of the president that will go on rampage to kill people if there is a political crisis. We need this not to repeat itself in South Sudan. That is why we said the national army will be overall, the national security sector will be overall. And we made the case actually in front of IGAD. I personally made it blunt to them that if you want to integrate us to your tribal army, it will be like asking you to integrate you into my white army. There is no national army in Juba. And I cannot trust my security to somebody like Malong. And look at the ethnic makeup. The president of the country is a Dinka and is a commander-in-chief of the army. The minister of defense is a Dinka, and in charge of the army, and Malunga one, and the rest of the leadership of the army in Vilfarm today is Dinka. So it is a wrong structure. It has to be dismantled. We said if the internal security is all also from Bar al-Ghazal, because I think Thomas Dwas is actually just an outfit. It's an outfit. Now, look at also the way the government is formed. Most of you, some of you may be students of government. You know the government has three pillars. The judiciary, the executive, and the legislature. Let us not talk about legislature, because there is no legislature in South Sudan. That one is a rubber stamp of the president. And if the face of Nuer community can be that guy called I will say that is also a ugly face. You know, he was brought from NCP and he is now made, I don't think that there is a functioning legislature in the country. Then now you are left with only two branches of the government, the executive and the judiciary, all from Warab. Yes. Okay. Now, the judiciary is somebody from Warab state, and the president, who also head the executive, is from Warab. Is that a national government? If you look at also at the treasury, the central bank, and the minister of finance, now Gabriel County alone. That's also Warab state. Now, where is the face of South Sudan in that government? There is no South Sudan in that government. There is only, you know, a tribal cocoons running the country in a very corrupt way. And we will not say that the Dinka killed us. It is that cocoon that killed us, that group. It is also that group that is stealing the money of the country. So we are saying there will be more overall reforms. About the accountability, we say that there will be no peace in South Sudan if you don't release the AU reports. Because it is in the AU reports where we will know who has committed the atrocities. And we made a case that let the people of South Sudan reconcile, minus Salva Kiir and those who have killed us. Let them go to jail, let them go to court, let the rest of the country reconcile, and let us have a new government in the country. This can be summarized like this. This is our position. It is not about power sharing as people are talking about, but the power that will implement the reform must be shared. That's what we are saying. Some people have also misconstrued our power sharing presentation as negotiating Riek Machar back into power. And that's what they are saying in Juba. This is also misrepresentation of our position as a movement. What we want in South Sudan is democratization of the political process. If we democratize the political process today in the country, we will not be tribalists like we are today. Because even Riek Machar cannot be made president by Nuer community. He must reach out to other ethnic groups for him to get votes. Salva Kiir, by the way, at least 75% of his votes came from Nuer community during that election. So even when he's killing today, he's actually killing his voters. And that is why we are saying that he lost his legitimacy because he killed the voters in Juba. This is the country we want. A country where all our faces are seen. And we will have a national army that will defend all of us. A security sector that will protect all of us. This is our presentation in Addis Ababa. And we will not back down from this, even if they do anything. But the good news now is that actually we have made our case in Addis, and all over the country, our people have listened to us. Externally, we have scored so high diplomatically. Salva Kiir has lost the region. Salva Kiir has lost the European Union. Salva Kiir has lost the United States of America. Not long ago, President of the United States went to U.S. Congress with an executive order that was passed into law saying that Juba has become a national security threat to the interests of the United States. That's a big win. Ambassador Bush, who is actually the envoy of the United States to peace talk in Addis, has also made it open in Juba that Salva Kiir cannot be legitimized by this parliament. It will be legitimized, his rules, his leadership will be legitimized only by peace agreement. That's also a diplomatic win, right? Things are changing, comrades. And this is where we are. We will not back down. About the formation of the new national army, we are saying that South Sudan cannot have two armies. We will have one army, but we are using what we call amalgamation. The forces will be amalgamated gradually until we have a real functional national army from all our ethnic groups. A national army that will defend all of us. We also need to write a new constitution. The constitution we have is one-man constitution written by some of our intellectuals, actually to put themselves in the government in the past. If you read the Article 101 of the Constitution, there are 16 powers that are given to the president. We want to sign an agreement that will amend that constitution and will take us to a new election where the people of South Sudan will have the opportunity to elect their own leaders. The reconciliation will continue and the accountability will also continue. Nobody will hide. We will find whoever committed a crime in South Sudan, whether actually that person with the Splm in opposition or with the government. Because we don't need
What
this.
is happening in Juba is easily put in scientific terms like a life cycle that is concluding itself. For every regime, there is a day to be born, to grow, mature, and then to die. And we all very well know, if something has to die, it has to decay. Even fresh fruits, when it is finishing, it decays, it smells. So what do you do with it? You throw it out. If you go to animals, a dog, when it is born, grows, and wants to die, it becomes mad. It starts biting people. Even the ones that, even if it was yours, you were feeding it, when it's dying, it becomes mad. It doesn't know you, it will bite you. So this is the regime in Juba. It's just behaving like a mad dog. biting even the voters. I mean, we cannot have a regime like that. If you know you're already dying as a regime, why don't you peacefully go? Hand it over to some people who can carry it on after you, instead of losing all that you had gained for over 10 years as a reputation and respect, or a legacy, leave a legacy as a liberation movement, like others have done. We, in this movement, respect all the tribes in South Sudan. That's why I am a representative here. My predecessor here was Day, my brother. I think he's around. He went? Yeah, he was, my predecessor. But later in the process, I was assigned here, and we still keep in touch. And we want us to be close with you while you are here, before you are assigned to go anywhere from here. In Nairobi, you'll be under the able leadership of my team, and they will be at your help anytime you need them. You give them your contact and take their contacts. If there is something more serious above what they can handle, then they can give it to me. I don't want to take over their jobs. Yeah. So thank you so much. I think I just want to end here and want to appreciate the presence of all our comrades who have come to grace this conference today. I think this is the spirit we want, that we come together to celebrate our colleagues who joined.